we would credit that to one of his teachers who found him and challenged him to step out of his comfort zone and get into track and field. And at first blush, that wasn't something he was interested in, but the teacher saw the potential and worked with our son. And
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
We have 3 children who have attended country day school. Our son went in grade 9 after attending a private school where we live. And he had built really strong relationships with some of the students there. And we were very impressed with the school that he was attending, which had strong affiliations and connections with the school that he went to, which was quite a distance away. So it just seemed like a natural migration to go from the school he was in elementary school to go to a high school that had similar values, challenging academics, along with some strong friendships that he had made at his existing school. And our twin girls had a very different experience. They are identical twin girls, and they had actually been at various schools just because they're identical, we as parents had searched to make sure that they were able to be individuals and not grouped as twins all the time. So they actually tried the public system where we live, and it was okay. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. And it was their decision actually to move to the same school that their brother was at, for the reason mostly that they weren't being challenged enough, and there was sort of inconsistency in terms of academics, teachers. So they just wanted to be more challenged, and they went for grade 11 and 12, and our son went straight through grade 9 to 12.
I would add that at Country Day, it was really about the facility, the community, the teachers, and the fact that it's also co-ed. We felt it, and our children were a big part of the selection of the school as well. And they felt that they were treated as adults and that they were held accountable. And they really were looking for an opportunity where they could realize their greatest potential for the future. And when you ask our children about that, they wanted to make sure that they were incredibly well prepared for university. They were getting very good marks in the public system, but they were concerned that they may not be learning as much as they were able to learn, especially in a facility like Country Day.
He knew a few kids, as I mentioned before, from his existing school, but this high school was, the catchment area was from all over the GTA. So he very much felt like he needed to make things happen for himself, meet new friends, get out there, try new classes, and really it was up to him to make the best experience for him. And I think he clued into that pretty quickly. You have anything to add?
I think that the fact that the school is well balanced and also offers so many different sports as well as academics and drama, that allowed our son Wilson to meet many people, not just in class, but also out on the sports fields or in different classes or different programs that were being offered by the school.
It was a little bit different for the girls because they had moved into the school where they really didn't know anyone. It was coming in grade 11 is fairly late in the game. They'd already done grade 9 and 10 at their existing school. So to break into a new school, meet new friends, understand sort of how the school works and the expectations, was pretty challenging for the first couple of months. But once they got into sort of how things run, they adapted really, really well.
I think that the teachers at the school are absolutely first class, and they're very aware of individuals. Each student as an individual and each student as a person. So that made it a lot easier for our children to adapt, because I'd say one of the biggest strengths of Country Day is how much the teachers care, and they care about challenging the children or the young adults, and challenging them to be the best that they can be. And whether that's in academics or building their character or building their, whatever it is they're into, athletics or drama.
I know from all of our kids that have gone to the school, I believe they would say that the teachers made the biggest difference in their time in high school. They're invested, they care, they want to make sure they're learning, and as much as friends and social is important, the teachers really do have a great understanding of your child, how they learn best, some help they may need. They just are very in tune with the student's personality and needs. Even if it's just looking from far from, just quietly looking, they don't sort of jump in and take over, but that gave us great comfort to know that the teachers know our kids really, really well and know when to push and when to challenge and the expectations of them. I think all three of our kids would say that was the top thing about the school.
I think also now as they move on into university, that the sense of community that they've had with the other students, and even the sense of confidence they got from, achieving things at school with the help of the teachers and the extended faculty, getting into great universities and into the programs they wanted. The school is very well set up to help them prepare for the best opportunity for them in the future. And I'd say that when you look at the three children, they're all leaders in their own way. And they've learned those leadership skills through their time in the community of Country Day. And I think they look back at that with great fondness. I would say their sense of confidence, their sense that they can do it, kind of that can do. They've been through, coming to the school, learning the school, excelling and becoming young leaders. So I think when they look back, that's a big part of who they've become.
The school gives many opportunities to highlight and celebrate achievement. So if your child is doing something that is exceptional or they've worked really hard, there are many opportunities throughout the whole year to recognize those successes in that hard work in front of their peers and the faculty as well. So I think that sense of accomplishment and achievement is something that they then strive for. So it's interesting to watch how success then breeds more success based on their own achievements.
I'd say that the facility is unbelievable. The size of the facility, the 100 acres, which lends itself to so many things that can be done right on campus. The quality of the facilities, those were surprising. I think the other bigger piece that we appreciated a lot was the sense of community from the parents and the teachers and the faculty, that everyone really cares about mainly one thing: the success and the growth of the character and the education of those young adults.
I think the thing that surprised me and I wasn't expecting was the first parent-teacher interview. Our son is an exceptional athlete, and the meeting with his teacher didn't go as well as I thought. I thought he'd be at a 98% or whatever. And she said, yeah, he's doing well, but he should be striving to be like the captain of the team, the leader of the class. And he's not there yet. And it wasn't from a physical standpoint. It was more about being a leader and stop goofing around with your friends and that sort of thing, which I thought this school really knows my kid and they're paying attention, because that was an opportunity for him to look back and look in the mirror and see how he was behaving and decide how to move forward best. So that was an eye opener. That was, I appreciated that versus being upset about it. I thought we've picked the right place.
I think one of the pieces that has really been ingrained in our young adults or children is accountability and integrity. You know, there's some really incredibly principle-based teachers there that have had a big impact on our children.
I think also some of the courses that they took were unique to the school, and a lot of them really challenged them from a critical thinking standpoint. So it wasn't just a straight line. They had to really consider lots of different ways of thinking about whatever the issue or the subject was. And I think that's translated into them being more prepared for life and also for their courses in university.
I would say our son, he was very, very fortunate to have an incredible track career, which still goes on today. And we would credit that to one of his teachers who found him and challenged him to step out of his comfort zone and get into track and field. And at first blush, that wasn't something he was interested in, but the teacher saw the potential and worked with our son. And, you know, he had an incredible learning experience about stepping out of his comfort zone, trying things differently, and had tremendous success in doing that. And I would say he learned a lot more about character and himself than he did about track through that teacher.
And I think from the girls, they just really came to understand their potential and how they can do anything they put their minds to. That school gave them the opportunity to shine and to step up and to try new things and do their best work. And they did that. And it's showing through now since they've graduated, and those habits and the way they've been thought to consider things will carry them through, I think, for the rest of their career. The teachers, even some of the courses, I think that the girls particularly were going out on a limb to take, ended up loving the conversation and the topics and the discussions that they would get into. And I feel like all of the teachers there take what they do very seriously, and there's really no cutoff time. Oh, it's 4 o'clock, you can't reach out. They're always available, and they don't sugarcoat. I think that is something that the kids will take with them, that they really truly learned a lot and their brains were challenged.
I think they're unbelievably committed to the success of the children. And that comes through in spades. I think the biggest thing that I would say is they greet the whole person. They want to know who the whole person is, and they want them to challenge them to be the best they can be and to realize their full potential. And that's just not talk. They really do walk the talk and really get to know them, and also get to know the parents. The teachers understand the students, but also they do talk to the parents, and they want to make sure that there's an open dialogue and that there's a shared understanding of where your children should be able to get to, and a really accountability for the children to get there.
Three reasons would be it's an investment in your child that will be an investment for life. They'll be challenged, and they'll be able to see the results of hard work.
I would say the commitment of the teachers and the whole community. I would say that the potential for your children to build their greatest character and leadership ability, and also having them being prepared for the future. You know, I think that we're living in a very dynamic time, and there's a lot of things going on in the world and in our children's world. And being at Country Day allowed them to build resiliency and also prepare them, you know, for a bright future, and one that they can handle what the world brings to them.
I would say drop in. First of all, do a tour, but then spend as much time as you can at the school and see what your inner feeling says to you and what your gut says to you. There were times when we would drop into the school to drop something off, or just happen to pop in, and the consistency was always the same. It wasn't like someone was waiting for us. The school runs with a very upbeat, positive attitude, very professional. But I would say spend time, visit, get to know people, observe, and feel comfortable you're making the right decision. But often you get a gut feeling about something. I did for sure with that school. And sometimes that helps.
I'd say, again, yeah, spend some time at the school, speak to the alumni and speak to the faculty and the teachers, because there's a real consistency there. And all the children, all the graduates I've met, and the students that we've had interaction through our children, they're still good friends, and there's a big sense of community, and there's a real consistency and a love for Country Day.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. Talking to the graduates is always the best advice to give. But yes, that is all my questions. Do you have any, or if you do have questions, you can always just email me also afterwards.
I think we forgot to answer one of your questions about the administration. You had asked about the
teachers and
the administration at the school.
Okay.
They're excellent. They run a very organized school. The way they were able to pivot when COVID hit was unbelievable. They were online teaching in 4 days, I think. So that was the strength of ability of a school that size, that decision-making can happen quickly. And they rolled up their sleeves, and the kids were online learning months in advance in a very, they were learning the content, and they got on that really quickly. David Huckville, who has been wonderful with our kids, really is helpful when it comes to understanding what post-secondary schools are available. Sort of the ins and outs and the best fit, excellent. Celia Bland and John Leggett were very impressed.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.